welcome back everybody. We are here for the Division 4 Grand Finals on stream here, and oh boy, we got a story here. Incendia Flame, so far undefeated team here, 10 series wins in a row in the Grand Finals, up against the underdogs, ECC9, beating Galactic Esports and Symbiotes, looking on fire coming to this final, and I expect it's going to be a banger match. Don't want to miss it. So welcome everybody. Of course, my name is Faith again, and we have now Muzz, our local South African, here to join us for this amazing Grand Finals. Mate, Muzz, it's going to be an absolute banger. Cannot wait to start this.
Oh yeah, Faith, good evening and welcome all the viewers to this Division 4 Grand Final, not even a bracket final. We watched the lower bracket final now. And yes, FC Niet, 4th place. Can they take the whole entire kit and caboodle, Faded? I'm very keen to see if that's going to be the case. I think, I'm going to put a prediction with my minimal channel points on Niet. I think they did lose to Incendia Flame a little earlier this evening, but yeah, come on, who doesn't like a good underdog story? And 4th place, taking the whole entire thing. I'm keen as I've been Faded. I think we're up for a fantastic best of 7 here.
Yeah, it's going to be a banger, and of course, ECC9, they are seemingly the fan favorites right now. Everybody loves them, especially their logo. It's fantastic. However, they are going to have their backs up against the wall. Not only are they facing off against the undisputed best team in the division, but also they are going to be a game down straight off the bat. That is Incendia's benefit from coming in from the winners bracket into this final. So ECC9, they've got a lot of work ahead of them, but we've seen them get to, technically speaking, upset victories so far today. So if they can keep that momentum going, get themselves off on the right foot in this series, and maybe we could see as well go the distance and maybe even see them get the victory. This one was.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, both these teams, they're going to really get promoted, and they will, of course, both then be going through to next season's Division 3. But the winner is going to be able to treat themselves to a free coaching session, of course, by one of our sponsors, Valor Esports. So that's exciting to see, and hopefully it's going to be the lads over at Niet. But of course, Incendia Flame, they won that first series 4-1. If they're going to get a repeat performance of that, then of course, as you mentioned, they get the 1-game lead already from traveling through the upper bracket. So tough already, small little molehill, so to speak, here for FC Niet to climb upon. But I think we can root for them, and I think a lot of the fans in the chat, they are definitely going to be rooting for Niet. That's for sure.
Yeah, that is for sure. But we'll waste no more time, shall we? Let's just dive straight into this series. Both hungry to get going, I am sure. So let's see who's going to be the victor. Going to get the victor, of course. Cheer on the team that you're supporting in the chat, either Incendia Flame or FC Niet. Can the underdogs make upset happen? Let's see as we advance into the first game of the series, though. Technically speaking, game 2 here to kick things off. As right off the beginning, to get into the center, Daxon, he's waiting for this one, trying to get an opportunity, reach out towards the net, Nitro has to get it out, and Bronny sends another one towards the net. ECC9 wanting to get into the attacking side to start winning out infield, running into Boogie is a good idea, but the execution was a little bit off there as Daxon misses. Zim chips it over one, and it is Boogie to get it out into the side, and so early start. Right here, it is the side of ECC9 that had that early pressure and already starting to show some good signs of how they want to approach this game. But now is Incendia to try and get something going themselves.
And we only had ECC9 they getting the one shot really on their pressure getting applied from Incendia Flame. So nothing really too crazy and convincing coming from either of these sides. Just, slow and steady, I think game 1 will go as, we're trying to see, who can build up the most momentum here. Oh! And submission, almost slotting that into the top right-hand corner, but unfortunately kept out there by that crossbar. So, of course, we do have Incendia Flame already with the 1-game lead. It would be, they would obviously feel, pretty stoked if they could take the 2nd game already off the bat. I think, we're going to have to see FC Niet try pick up this one at least. But yeah, again, nothing too convincing from both these sides. Haven't seen an awful lot of pressure coming out. Pretty 50-50 at this point.
Yeah, I expected this to be a more slow start, you could say, as a series. You know, both these teams, they don't play each other in ages, so they need to try and feel each other out, especially when you consider Incendia Flame. They've not played in a good few hours, so they wanted to slowly get themselves warmed up into this and then take it from there. As approaching 2 minutes in, still 0-0. It is Nitro to try and boom it down the field. Boogie now, can he keep control of this? That's a face-off against Nate to get out now. Him booming it long. It will be Bronny to get it downfield to Daxi. Can he reach it? He pre-flips. At least makes a connection, but he won't be able to do much more with it. Bronny now into the center, and it is Boogie's boy. Ambitious commit for that one. Now Daxi's trying to slow it down, and you see now the pace is starting to pick up, slowly but surely for both these teams, trying to go for more aggressive plays in these. Maybe it carries a bit more risk, but I imagine one of these teams will try open it up as early as they can, as it's Bronny with no boost to get to the side.
Yeah, well, you know, it's always high risk, high reward, you know, so you got to make sure that you kind of push up deep, you kind of maybe leave your back line a bit more open. Of course, it's going to lead to possibly conceding goals, but, you know, so far, sluggish game number 2 coming out from both of these sides as we get in down to the business end of this game. 2 minutes left on the clock. Oh, and Daxian is going to take the shot. Very soft shot indeed, but still, that's going to be FC Niet going one up.
The underdog's getting started here, and yeah, it's a whiff off that back wall for the defender, and so Dax is in a perfect position to capitalize on that small mistake. And we saw this in the previous series where there was like one game that was only ended up in 1 goal, and it was a pretty passive game from both teams. And you know, it's more of a case of they were playing to not lose rather than going for the win. But in the end, it is Daxon. The one mistake that happens, he takes the chance and scores. So now with 2 minutes to go, you know, FC Net in the driver's seat, and this is a game that they absolutely need to win. If they could tie it up right off the get-go, that would do wonders for them to make a best-of-5 situation at that point. As now we see Nitro trying to get back into his own half. Ronnie forward, so then we'll get into the side. And Nitro's going to try to pick this one up, tries to carry it downfield, looking for Boogies actually to get that demo, but he does avoid it. And now carry forward once more. It's Bronny and Nate up. Nate drops it down. Can Daxon get the shot? No, he is blocked, and now counter-attacking chance for the side of Incendia. Boogies though will hold his nerve.
Yeah, and you thought Nitro was going to be able to take that all the way to the box and just got kept out. So, you know, Net need decent on the defense at the back here. Of course, they do have the 1-goal safety net at this moment, so pretty comfortable. You know, they're sitting pretty, and now we see Dax here trying to push the ball, but getting kept out there by submission. I think, you know, the possession of ball here, definitely 52-48 going towards the side of Incendia Flame, even though they are trailing. But, you know, I haven't really seen Orange been able to get this ball past the half-wall line, kind of apply too much pressure. And even the goal coming up from Dax, of course, you know, like you mentioned, the whiff is quite soft, and now Boogie keeping that ball out in a decent fashion here. Getting down to the business end, faded, like you said, maybe not really. Oh, okay, Boogie there, getting in a second. But, you know, as you mentioned, almost trying not to lose and really trying to be overly aggressive. And I think, you know, maybe for a final, these teams could put on more of a spectacle than this.
Yeah, I would agree with that, because, you know, the way they're playing right now isn't boring per se to watch. Of course, sometimes you have to play boring, but I feel like these teams, especially FC Net and Neat, could be pushing the limits a little bit more. You know, as you mentioned, they've not been going out of their own half too often, so maybe they could go for more risk, try and make aggressive plays. But it's been working for them so far. They may concede here, Nitro misses, and FC Net might well just hold on to the 2-0 lead and in a clean sheet as well, which be a big boost to their confidence, as we do see Nitro trying to get something out of this, but it looks like FC Net will be able to close this out 2-0. Perhaps wasn't the most eventful game we've seen so far, but definitely a fairly solid one overall from both teams. But FC Net, they were able to capitalize off of the few errors that are being made by their opponents, and so they will tie up the series as it drops just in front of the line. 1-1 between these two sides was.
Well, there we go. So, yeah, we can go back to scratch now. We're at the foundation. FC Net, they just pulled it back in the second game. So now we're tied up 1 apiece in the series. Very sluggish kind of start there. You know, you did mention Incendia Flame, they're a bit cold. They played in the very first series of the evening. And of course, I think Net, they've had a lot of game time there. Kind of blood is boiling. But yes, not boiling enough for this game to have really been a banger. You know, we did see a lot of shots here coming out from Incendia. Nothing that really met with too much accuracy and didn't get to the back of the net. And of course, they're so up by 2-0. It feels like it's going to be a long series. I don't see maybe an overtime happening, but you know, they're definitely not making any of the craziest plays. And you know, maybe that's okay. You know, let's win the division. You know, we were 4th place, or even for both of these teams. Let's win the division. You know what? Whether you take it by an inch or a mile doesn't matter. Get the W, take the victory, and that's okay, I think.
Yeah, if they want to go with that, it is fair enough as well. After all, we're not ones to say how they approach the game. We obviously do have our own opinions on that, but if this is what they're most comfortable with, then, you know, that's the way that they should stick with here. And so I've seen that Niet, especially Boogers, he's actually playing, you know, very solid defense altogether, making good decisions, timing his challenge as well. And so as a 3rd man, he's been doing that perfectly there. And so as long as they can, you know, when they get those few opportunities they had, as long as they can be putting them into the back of the net, and that could work very well to them. But I'd imagine Incendia Flame, I mean, for a team that's first, you've got to have some more in you there, and there has more depth to your game than that. So we'll see if they can bring it out as we're into the 3rd game of the series now. It's Bronny with no boost, trying to push it up. We now see Boogies in for the Daxon, but on his rotation back, is it going to turn for it? And so chance given away as there. Sim has a run down the center of the field. Dax needs to turn. Boogies gets onto it. Now we'll try to put it forward. Dax, great challenge. Can he find the center he needs? It's going to be risky for his teammate to go, but Nitro not the best touch. Nate will have good speed onto it to get on that, and Nitro finding the clearance out. So opening minute here, again, back and forth stuff here. No goal to be found just yet, but that's to be expected out of a series like this. Now it's Daxon trying to get this one out. Maybe go for the long shot, but it will not quite find the net. Running with the follow-up. Nitro can't get back in time, and yet again, it's ECC9 need to get the opening goal again.
And just Dax from that right-hand side, kept up by ECC9, and then Bronny with a beautiful read says, thank you, I'm going to get the cutout, and finds his way into the back of the nets already. Niet taking the lead in game 3, and I love it. Bronny with a beautiful read. I found Bronny was a little quieter in the previous game between kind of Boogie, like you said, on the defense and then Dax in the front. Bronny now says, thank you, I'm going to put my hand up, and gets a cheeky goal from the left-hand side. So hopefully maybe a higher scoring game than the previous one, but that is Niet here. Maybe proving the haters a little wrong and definitely making their supporters really, really happy.
Yeah, indeed, especially that first goal. Now Daxon always been trying for another one, but Nate, very patient, played that one well. Now look at an infield pass, be a no boost. Unfortunately, he had the idea in mind though, as Sim has to get up to this, but it's not the best touch. Nitro will still be there either way, so it will be fine. It's now drop back into Nitro there from Nate. It will be out to the side. Now here comes Bronny. It's not got much boost. He will go for the mid, but never tries to give up possession. He gets a demo though, and can Boogies for the shot? No, and it will be Nate to get out. But one thing I want to note is seeing that Niet, they've been going back to the way they like playing, a lot more aggression in a way, more confidence you could say. And that's the kind of mentality I like to see out of them. They're not afraid of Incendia whatsoever. They play the way they want to play, and they seem to be most comfortable when they can get forward a lot.
Oh yeah, and I mean they've really kept out Incendia Flame. I mean they have 0 shots on the whole of the blue half. Niet, you know, just starving them, making sure you guys aren't going to get close to that box at all. And you know, that's Boogie at the back being that great deep 3rd man doing so much work. And you know what, 1 goal lead so far. Oh, submission, try to take the shot, didn't happen though. Boogie there to push it out. But yeah, they're doing phenomenal at the back. And Incendia Flame, they're actually struggling just a bit to try get any shots into that little orange 3rd.
Indeed, and this is so odd to really say here, but we're 3 minutes in almost into this game, and Incendia Flame, no shots registered, as was mentioned. Like, that is bizarre stuff. You know, a team that's been so dominant throughout the season. I mean, League only dropped 4 individual games. This could be their first goal here, but Daxon off the line gets it away. Finally, Incendia, they get a shot, you know, towards the goal, but just nowhere near enough for them at the moment. They do have the pressure currently. Can Sim get a good center? It will just barely be enough, and Nate will get it off the line, and finally that equalizer does come.
Yeah, and submission, decent pinch from that right-hand corner. They set up ECC9 into the midfield. Boogies, unfortunately, this time around wasn't there to actually be that defensive 3rd that we know him to be, and yeah, they missed the ball there. So tying up the game, Incendia Flame there through ECC9. And now game on, but of course, you know, low scoring again faded. Only 2 on the scoreboard thus far. I don't think it's going to get really any more heated than that. If, you know, kind of the historical data is anything to go by here, we're only looking at about 1 more goal. Then it should be a 2-1, and that's about it, I think.
Yeah, I don't see much more coming out of this game. To be fair, considering the way not just the last game has gone, but even this game as well. I mean, it's been purely dominated by FC Niet up until that goal just then. So yeah, who knows how this game is going to end. But now it is Daxon. He's going to try and make it a goal for his side. Boogie's now coming in as starred, will be able to maintain the pressure. Nate with no boost. Puts it into Nitro, so they won't be able to make a run down the field. And here's the shot, and oh my word, where was the last defender in that situation? That was wide open, easy shot for Nitro, and it is now with less than a minute left. It's now Incendia ahead.
Yeah, and just kind of the defensive rotation there from Niet wasn't happening. They had about 2 kind of into the midfield. No one was there to come back. Nitro played that ball also down the whole length of the field, got that beautiful second touch off the side of the wall and said, thank you, I'm going to get the read to pop this in. So finally, after grueling, 4 minutes, we finally get to see them taking the lead in Game 3 here. I mean, geez, Incendia Flame had to really, really work hard for that. And of course, kind of kudos there. Oh, Dax there with the beautiful save, just showing us how good they can be on the defense. Boogie's also trying to push that out. Oh, it's close here. I mean, Incendia Flame here, they are number 1. They should be winning like this. But they've been kept at bay, though, by such a strong Niet team. So, with 1 goal difference here, do we get our first overtime of the series, or are we going to see the clock count down?
Yeah, and they have to, FC they have to make the final attack count as it is Boogie's to come in, but I think Incendia will be able to just barely hold on as Nitro gets it out. You'll get the second touch as well. Bronny needs to get a decent touch upfield, but Sam will put the ground. Incendia Flame going now 2-1 up. And to be fair to them, considering the way that game going, they managed to bounce back in huge fashion there. Get the equalizer, then get the go-ahead goal, and that first half was abysmal, to be honest. They had no shots whatsoever. But in the end, they managed to break through, make those chances count, and now able to get that game win. And so, yeah, that shows that Incendia, they do have it in them, but, there is some struggles for sure. And FC Niet, they're proving to be a pretty big, pain in the backside, shall we say, for the Incendia side.
Oh, yeah, no, they are absolutely playing phenomenal Rocket League. They did keep out Incendia Flame there for about 4.5 minutes or 20 minutes until finally we could see Nitro with that beautiful solo play. They get the last goal, but I mean, Incendia Flame have really had to work for the ball. They like you said, no shots at all recorded in the first about minute and a half. They just were not getting back into the orange half and into their third and their striking third as well there. We looked at Dax getting decent saves that we speak about. Boogie's already is doing so well at the back. Brawny did get that first goal, then a bit lackluster after that, and he recorded the 184 there at the end. So, didn't maybe do as much as he could have had for the team there. But with that being said, again, they did keep out Incendia Flame for quite some time. Let's see what's going to happen here. Of course, that, is Incendia going up now 2-1. But, Niet not making it easy for them. And we almost might get a bit of a leapfrog thing going here, faded, where Niet might just pick up this game.
Yeah, it did. And that was kind of the pattern the last series was, trending towards. So maybe it could be the case here, because they first to Niet, even though they're the 4th place team and they, just barely got into playoffs, they're playing as if they're like a top 2 side in this division. And look at the start off early again. Bronny early shot, no boost with Dax. He tries to find Bronny again. And, that play could have may well have worked out. And now as Boogie's back on his own defense. Nate taps it back into Nitro, into the corner once more. It should be Boogie's an easy clear, but Nitro able to get onto that one. Now it's Nitro blocking him again. Bronny trying to get out, but that is a big miss, and that could be disastrous. But team bump there will allow Boogie's a little bit of space to work with. Daxon, not much boost, and Nitro actually flipped preemptively for that when he was expecting a more of a boomer touch, but now it is Bronny. Infield to Boogie's, no shot to be found there. And this opening minute, both teams having their opportunities, but it looks like FC Niet near the stronger side, especially they're going to be getting the opening goal. Boogie's, the one that's been the solid defender so far, now puts himself on the board.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of nice, beautiful ping pong shot there onto that backboard. And Boogie's with a beautiful read there, gets the goal from that left-hand side. And once again, we have Niet kind of taking the lead. Just they now need to be able to hold on to this lead, right? They do so phenomenally well of kind of smothering Incendia Flame, but of course then, something slips at the end, something kind of cracks, maybe the fatigue of playing such a long evening of series. And then of course, someone from Flame ends up putting it in and smothering their flame, so to speak. So let's see, are we going to have Niet kind of hold on to this lead, maybe even get a second one? I think a bigger safety net for them is actually what is required.
Yeah, indeed. You're mentioning like how long FC Net they've been playing. I mean, they've had 2 series in a row just before this, and for certain teams, you're not used to playing that long in these kind of situations. It can be quite exhausting in that situation. So, I mean, FC Net, with all things considered, they've been doing a good job, but they need to keep focused the entire time, especially against a team of this caliber. And Incendia, as now they're under pressure here, Boogies has to get himself in front of that one, and now Nate into Nitro again. Could we go for the passing play? Will not work out. Here goes Bronny. On the side, Wilson gets the demo and the touch. It will be now Boogie to try push forward to this. Nitro does contest. Daxton now pushing forward, but he's not on much boost. But smart, he is going to be buying a little bit of time, and now Bronny will chip it onto the back wall. And now halfway into the game, and we still see, to be fair, FC Net and Nate, they are keeping their adversaries out of this one so far. But no one is going to be safe here against Incendia, as we now see Bronny push forward, shooting opportunity, tries to find Daxton, but he just barely missed it. And now it will still be pressure here, but by FC Net Nate show that they're still going to be going for those goals here. They are so very much threatening.
Oh, and I mean, I was just hoping there was going to be a goal from that left side there. Kept out, of course, by Incendia Flame. They do need to try pick up a second, just make sure they have a bigger deficit so they can carry on going submission. The midfield won't be passing down to anyone. And of course, there Boogies again. Beautiful third man for Niet doing so well there at the back. But yeah, they haven't really put on as much pressure as they could have. And now Incendia Flame have been applying a hell of a lot of pressure at this moment. They've taken 1 or 2 more shots. And we need to see the lads here in orange if they can do something as this clock ticks down. But definitely getting pressured on right now.
Yeah, indeed. I want to mention, Sim has actually been, trying to go for more of those demos. Now, they're being mistimed, I will have to admit. You don't seem to be much of an inconvenience for FC Net, and he maybe gives up for the second chance, but that's about it. So if you could get those demos in crucial times, when they're about to go on to attack, maybe get rid of the keeper or a player that's supposed to challenge, that could really present a lot more threatening chances for Incendia to score, because at the moment they've been mostly far and few between. So perhaps that's what they needed. There's another one coming out there, and it could actually prove troublesome if Boogies is able to get that one, and Bronny off the respawn gets away. So final minute now, still Incendia down by 1, and shot count is actually dead even. 2 shots apiece, very low shooting in this one. As now it is Sim's chance to get in. Daxton directly above him, actually finds a second touch on it, so he will find Bronny, but he's unable to get contact. Now Nate still get down. Actually, he gets booted out of the game. Typical Rocket League being buggy as shit. And I apologize for swearing, but my words go all the way to describe that. As now half a minute to go, and with Incendia Flame a man down, that is the most unfortunate situation where the game just randomly kicks you from the server. As now it will be just side of FC Net trying to hold on for dear life here against the other 2 men on the opposite end of the field. Bronny with the clear and the double touch. Maybe no, it's not needed, but I think that'll be it. It will be FC Net going to tie this one 2-2, but perhaps in slightly controversial circumstances, Mod.
Yeah, no, I mean, a little bit unfortunate there for Incendia to get kicked by the servers, but I think almost a bit of, the higher powers that could be helping out Niet here as they can tie up this series and pick up this 4th game. So, they're going to be quite happy for those kind of unfortunate circumstances, and we will obviously see if it's Niet can come back. But again, very slow, sluggish game there, Faded. Nothing... nothing I'd be writing home about. Of course, only really 1 goal on the scoreboard and 3 shots, throughout everyone here. We can't see what Nate had, but I almost don't believe it was off. It was too much. But that being said, and we said it already earlier, if you can get the W, you're going to get the W, and it doesn't matter. So, I think you know, however these teams want to play and get through to the end, they're going to be doing their business. So yeah, Niet tying things up there. Hopefully we're going to see a bit more crazy action here as the rest of the series continues, and we'll see what happens with ECC9.
Yeah, it will be indeed. I was trying to find out what, how Nate tried to perform there. I had this handy tool we have in Slipstream for Sunday bot, but unfortunately it doesn't work if the players left the server, so that wasn't great use. But yeah, they did confirm it was the DCing glitch. I'm sure some people have seen it. If you don't know what it is, in fact, but it just randomly boots players from servers for no reason whatsoever. So it's an annoying bug, and it's a shame it has to happen in a scenario like this. But I mean, by the rulebook, it was so late in the game that if something that happens, you just have to play on and deal with it. And you know, after goals be scored, yeah, especially in that. So we'll also wait for ECC9 to get back into it. We're just gonna have a short break for the action for now whilst we get this sorted. But in the meantime now, mods, we're tied 2-2 in the situation. ECC9, you know, very close game between those two teams, so they come out on top with that one goal. So yeah, for the rest of the series, I mean, Incendia Flame still not doing a whole lot in that one. So what do you think they've got to do here as the players that are getting back in? But still, what have Incendia Flame got to do to match up to this ECC9 side?
No, I mean, they need to just try get more control of the game that they've lost. You know, they've got Nitro. He's the big GC player there in this team. You know, they've just allowed maybe a bit too much room for Niet. You know, they kind of weren't this crazy when we saw that second game in the first one of the series. And already it's Nate though coming back from that DC to score with vengeance faded. Well, that's what they need.
Yeah, that's what we need. I want to point out again, Sim, you've been trying for those demos so many times, and so far, up until that moment, he's been unable to make any of them really work out. But he did it in the perfect moment, got rid of the keeper, and ECC9 had a, practically free shot there, slots it in, and so already Incendia Flame, that's what we need, that early goal to get themselves into the game. And now, it could be a chance here, but Nitro actually, the ball was put past him, but Nate rotates back in time, gets control. Let's see what he can do with it. Goes for the air dribble, it will be Daxon to get out to the side. Block, but no, gets it out. Biggest out, drops it down, and again the demo, it will be Nitro for the shot. And oh my goodness, it looks like it will be ECC9 having to deal with a new threat coming out from Incendia.
And you know, Faded, you already said it previously, Submission is changing his role just a little bit, becoming that enforcer that either is going to bump you or get demos. This was the second demo coming from Submission that resulted in a second goal for Incendia Flame, and I really think he's doing just, you know, he's the tough enforcer, and he's just making sure that he can box out any lost defender there on the Niet side. And yeah, so 100% kind of a strat working for Incendia Flame there so far. When Submission's in the box, bullying, goals will be scored.
Yeah, indeed. He's going for the classic virtuoso strat, where you just chase demos around the field, and to be fair to him, it is working. And you know, perhaps it's working so well so far because it's an unexpected change delay. Well, maybe some of us out here could foresee it coming, but maybe for the players that weren't noticing it too much, it didn't have an impact then. But now, once he gets those demos timed right, it does wonders. So 2-0 early lead for Serve Incendia, which, considering the way this series has gone, could even be enough to win the game. As it is now, Daxon trying to get it downfield, Listen getting a touch of the second one, but Boogies will be able to swipe it off of him. And now showing to Bronic, going for the shot, it is just wide. And now Daxon has to retreat back for this. Takes the full boost, gets it past Nate, but he's got no one pushing up with him, so he has to go for the solo play here. He gets another touch, and Nitro, awkward for him, does get the save though. Now Submissive will be able to get out for another attack here.
Submission are the one driving that ball instead of being in the box. Oh, shot on by Nitro. Close, yeah. We just need to see what Incendia Flame can do, but I mean, putting on a third would be great for them. Finally, a high-scoring game. Oh, Submission again, taking another shot.
It's looking like there was a potential for a third there, but I think Nate just saved it off his opponent's goal line. So yeah, it could have been very easily been 3-0, but nonetheless, Incendia have pretty solid grasp of what's going on. It's been a lot better overall. You take a look at the statistics. I mean, it's 6 shots to 2 and more bombs coming out for Submission. I mean, it's a big change that the side of Incendia have made to their game plan, and you know, it's perhaps something a lot of people maybe don't think about, but if you do it correctly, this is what it can result in. And you know, if Incendia walk away with this win, then I think ECC9 might have quite a tough time making it back unless they can make a quick adjustment. There's the infield pass in front of him, but Boogies won't be able to reach it. Now Daxon gets to get out. Nitro touches it high. Now Boogies, can he get this out? He will go for the dribble, but again, as I said, Incendia not just going for those demolitions, but also playing a lot more confidence against their opponents, and that has really helped them in this case. They're able to keep that pressure onto their opposition. Now with 90 seconds left just about, looks like Incendia may just walk away with this with a clean sheet.
Oh yeah, no, I think so, man. I love the fact here that Incendia Flame have just found their confidence. They've dug deep for this game, and they're doing so incredibly well, and they're just playing their game. You know, they've, like you said, they've got those demos on submissions, doing such fabulous work on that front, and they're able to score. And I actually think they've been unnerving Net, Niet, and they're just now, you know, kind of trying to break their morale. You know, they've tied up the series, they're doing so incredibly well, and now they're down 2-0, and Incendia Flame here, they're going to be so chuffed with this performance, just sticking to their guns and playing their game. And now, you know, 1 minute left here remaining of regulation time. They've got such a good grasp and command of this game. Might just walk into an open net. Nitro. Boogie, they try to get the save at the end, they're faded, but I mean, you can't do much about that with the dunk.
Yeah, very difficult for Boogies to get anything on that. He's just bouncing at such a weird angle. Maybe he could have waited a bit more, but Nate was coming in, so may not even matter in the end. Boogies did what he could, so it's 3-0. Nitro being credited with that goal there. His second of the game. He's had a cracker of a match as well. 3 saves as well. 6 shots, doing a brunt of the work for Incendia here in the offense. So yeah, it looks like it will be side of Incendia going on to match point here, Muzz. And you know, at this point, you know, it's going to be crunch time for the side of ECC9. You know, they've been shot out 3-0. I think it's the biggest goal differential in any of the games they've had in this series so far. So gotta make a huge adjustment and make it a massive performance to make it a 7th for this one. For this is a series we won't see 7 games out of us. Now it is Nitro with another shooting opportunity, but he won't miss it, but it won't matter. So little time on the clock. No way ECC9 get back in, and now, as just mentioned, it's match point for the side of Incendia, and only just one away from that title of Division 4.
And you know, it's so funny when you talk about kind of changing up just the strat and what you do just a little bit, and you get the highest scoring game, and it's only 3-0. You think, well, hell, what's happened in this series? But it's been a phenomenal series. The play has been a little bit slow, and you know, both teams are just trying to get decent wins, not crazy wins. You know, and when you talk about the highest scoring kind of deficit game only been 3-0, you think, wow, you know, some crazy business has happened here. But Nitro, the MVP here, 6 shots, 3 saves, and 2 goals, as you mentioned, doing such crazy work on the field. Definitely strapped on the backpack so that Incendia Flame could jump in. And, you know, they just had the more confidence, as you mentioned. They just played their game this time around. You know, the demos were working, they unnerved Net, Niet. And this is a first place division team. You know, we knew they had the kind of confidence, and we knew they had the ability to win this. And maybe, you know, they had a very long break prior to this, and they kind of had cooled down possibly a bit. And of course, Net, Niet haven't played a hell of a lot of series prior. Now they're coming back. You know, it's a best of 7. It's long. You can get back into the swing of things. They look like they're back in the swing of things, that's for sure.
Yeah, they do. So here we go on to Beckwith Park at night here. And let's see, you know, fairly calm map, but it's this one could live up at Champions Field, which we know hosts many iconic finals across span of space of our release, what should I say. So here we go.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of response can we see out of ECC9 getting shut out in that game? So they've got a lot of work to do in this one, as it's Daxon off the kickoff to try and get an early goal. Bronny immediately go for demo on Nitro, so he could open up the space. Daxon now back into Boogie, and he will be able to get it out. Now, can he find the shot is the question. No, Nitro blocks him. Bronny now. Oh, he misses that, and now Sim and Daxon in the 1v1, but he does take his time, waste as much time as possible, gives no chance for side of Incendia to get there. It was Dax with the opportunity, gets the demo at least. So this opening minute, 30 seconds, should I say, you know, it is ECC9 again trying some new things, different approaches to get into the game. Now it's Bronny getting down the field, but he's blocked by Nate there. So it is now side of ECC9 starting to take more control of that midfield, and maybe it could turn into a shooting chance eventually.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the do or die for them. They need to, of course, win this game 6 so they can force the full best of 7 series. But Nitro says, well, no, thank you. That's not going to happen. It's a whole full field goal here, actually, as well. And another decent solo play, as we saw previously. Oh, try to get last touchdown to the ball. Didn't matter. Double commit there coming from Niet. Brawny and Boogie's at the back. They weren't able to stop Nitro. And another early lead for Incendia Flame.
Yeah, it's another lead, and you saw what Nitro was going for. You tried to go for the musty flick, but he missed contact. I don't think that's what the opponents were expecting, but either way, you've got to be having someone on the ball at least, and another person back, because that could have been very easily prevented. So, Incendia Flame, they get that first goal here, and now let's see if they can continue this on. Someone comes in for that one. It's blocked by Lucas again, and now seeing Brawny going down the field, forced to 50-50, and now Daxon has to try and get on this, but Nitro is there way before him, and that demo takes Daxon out of the game, so now Boogie's on his own. I really want to be seeing more of ECC9 trying to make use of each other, because so far they've been going for a lot of solo plays. That's Daxon diving in as a third man, and it will be Sim on his own to make it 2 for Incendia.
I mean, just a beautiful posture from ECC9. Found some submission. And of course, Duke, the last player there at the end, got a nice fake, got a flick, got over the last defender. And yeah, Incendia Flame faded. They are slowly closing out this series. Of course, if they win this, they're going to get the whole thing. And yeah, 2 up is the way you do it. So they're playing just such decent Rocket League right now. And Niet, they have to find a way to dig deep, and they have to find a way to come back. Yes, and that's going to be Dex with the goal. So hopefully this is a start of a recovery.
Yeah, I really hope so too. Submissive, that is a very poor touch of the back wall, and Daxon just to be there ready for it. Finds a top shelf, and so capitalizing off of the very mistake again from Incendia Flame. And so it is perhaps the beginning of their journey back into this game. They've still got to find one more to just tie it, so we know it's definitely possible for them, but at least getting on the board, that should really do wonders to their confidence. But not if Submissive's going to have another one, as Daxon finds the angle onto the net. That 2-goal lead is restored.
Not if you're going to have such a decent read off the backboard like that. Faded submission. Going from the big demo king to the goal king. Oh my goodness, the goals are coming here thick and fast now. Already 2 for 2 here. There for submission, so 100% striking rate. Oh, and just a read off the backboard. And now, oh, and Nate as well. Well, he says, I'll give it a shot as well. Incendia Flame saying, let's pull out a couple fancy things for the last match.
Yeah, why the hell not if you're 2-0 up, and they might as well, because to be honest, Incendia Flame having the best offensive performance, I'd say, just lights out, doing some fantastic stuff here, and now have to get him to go. ECC9, they did not have much time outside their box, to be honest, only 1 shot, and it was to be fair, the 1 goal he put in, but he's been doing a lot better than that if you want to be making it into Game 7 here. As a miss him, again, it's 2 demos, leaves only 1 defender back, and it is Boogie's. And you know how hard he can be to get passes now. It will be chipped onto the backboard, so up again. Brawny having to be left there, and now it's Daxon again as a third man diving for it. Brawny has to cut this across, but you can tell the ECC9 side's in a really sticky spot, and really struggling to get anything working together. A lot of solo efforts, but it won't matter if Boogie's can bang one into the bottom right.
Yeah, and finally you see Brawny playing that ball onto the wall, get the second touch there, of course, for Boogie's to come in, and hopefully not too late, but definitely needed here for the Niet side. They have to be scoring these goals, and I think Brawny, he hasn't really been able to get too involved in a lot of these games we've seen, but of course when he does, find a decent pass infield for someone to score, hopefully Brawny might do a little bit more. But is it a little too late as this clock be ticking down? 1 goal separating both these teams. Maybe we see an overtime for the first time in this series, maybe we don't. And overtime, of course, going to golden goals so that Niet can just tie up the series. That's gonna be nerve-wracking, but yeah, only time will tell, of course.
Yeah, I would have to say that, considering the way this playoffs is going, the term too late shouldn't ever be applied, because I feel like no matter what, even the most unlikely of circumstances, teams are coming back into it. But currently still for ECC9 is a big struggle, and Boogis has to get up to that, but Daxon does save him there, diving across, and so they will be staying 1 up, but now Mission trying to get into the center for Nate, and he will finish it, and that pressure will pay off once more. And my word, Submission again, what a game he's had so far, involved in every goal, 2 goals, 2 assists, puts it into Nate, gets himself into that play for the finisher. I was just under a minute to go. It may well be Incendia Flame walking away with this win here, Muzz.
Oh, maybe. Of course, are we even surprised seeing Nate driving down that midfield with a beautiful goal? And now Brawny trying to take a shot and kept up by Nate as well. So Incendia Flame having such a still in time here. Submission. Oh, as well as Nitro not able to take the shot. This ball's going to go the whole way down. Dax can't do much about it. Niet, they need to get it in. Boogies will do that. The game is on, Faded. The game is on.
The game is indeed on, and I think FC that you come back from your deficits of this magnitude before. 33 seconds, and just a goal left. In fact, in the last series, scored 2 to win it. Series overall, so we know we have it in them. So this has to be a good kickoff. They need to get a chance straight off the bat. Nate, though, taking his time. Very clever of him. Boogies again. Diving in for this one, honestly been a lights out player for ECC9, but he needs to do something big here again as it's into the box there. It could be the goal, and it is deflected off the defender. And Nate again credited, and now 18 seconds left. While still technically possible, life is going to be an absolute nightmare from ECC9 gone out.
Yeah, and Brawny not able to just convincingly get the ball out there. Hit into the opposing striker, not really what you want. And down by 2, Niet, well, might just be the proverbial nail in the coffin. I think that definitely just got slammed in by submission now. So with a 3-goal deficit here, Faded.
Yeah.
Incendia Flame. Yeah, it seems pretty convincing at this point.
Yeah, Incendia Flame, my word, this last game has been scary at times, but I'd say they have brought out a huge performance for this, and so very well done to Incendia Flame, as they may even put in a 7th. Why the hell not? Go right ahead, you're winning anyway. I think it's safe to say right here, ladies and gentlemen, Incendia Flame will be your ECC Division 4 champions here. And whilst ECC9 they brought a really big performance, and they proved what they are worth here. They maybe a bit more than the 4th seed they were granted. I mean, still, Incendia Flame seems to be too strong. Undefeated seeds as well for Incendia Flame. Not many teams could beat like that, but they have done exactly that right there, Muzz.
Well done to Incendia Flame. They absolutely opened up the sluice gates here at the end. 7 goals. I mean, my goodness. We hadn't seen really much of this happen at all in any of the previous games, and in fact 10 in total here. Basically, it seems like it's more than all the other games put together. But what a way to finish a grand final for a division. Let's get 10 goals on the scoreboard. Let's have Incendia Flame say, well, we are number 1. We want to remain number 1. Put in 7. Submission played absolute out of his socks, that's for sure. From the demos, from the decent blocks at the back, to running up front, getting a hat-trick in this game, but also scoring decent goals in the previous games as well. They definitely played so well. And yeah, hard luck going there to Niet, but of course they will finish 2nd and also get that promotion. And then of course Incendia Flame picking up that free coaching session. What an absolute evening overall of Rocket League.
Yeah, well, it's been amazing overall, but we've still got a little bit more business to deal with now. In chat right now, for those of you on desktop, will be at the top of the chat, there is a poll, and you guys can vote for your MVP of the ECC Division 4 playoffs, and whoever you guys vote for the most, we'll be doing a little interview here on the stream. So go ahead and do that right now. You got a couple minutes to make that happen. Yeah, whoever you vote for, we'll bring on here and we'll get to ask a few questions. So yeah, I think we should, before we go to a little break, we take a look at the day overall here in Muzz. Starting off in the Incendia Flame, who's just won a 4-1 victory over Symbiote Scorn. Then there's a losers bracket. ECC9, this is where their run started. 4-2 over Galactic Esports, followed by 4-1 over Symbiote Scorn, and now in this final 4-2 for Incendia Flame. So fantastic day overall, and it just shows like what Division 4 can have. Like, even though it's the bottom division, you still get these insane games and stuff that you never expect to see. But that's the nature of playoffs. These teams come alive and bring some incredible, mind-blowing stuff. So overall, fantastic day of action.
Oh yeah, no, fantastic dev action, superb action. Yeah, as you said, might be the lowest division, but the heat came out, that's for sure. And of course, Incendia Flame bringing that heat. So we got that poll in chat, guys. Vote, please vote. Nitro, Nate, or Submission. Who you think is the MVP of Division 4, and we're gonna have a nice little sneaky chat to them after the ad break.
Yeah, we will do that. So we'll keep. Welcome back, everybody, to the final segment of our Division 4 playoff stream. We just saw that incredible final, Incendia Flame 4-2 over ECC9, and now we're going to have an interview with Nitro, the captain of Incendia Flame. I mean, first off, Nitro, congratulations, was a fantastic series and playoffs overall for you guys. Undefeated season as well. I mean, that's got to be an amazing feeling, right?
Yeah, it's been a long journey, but I'm quite happy with the result. Thanks to you guys for putting on an amazing tournament, and to my whole team, because wouldn't be here without them.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I think we'll get on to the main questions here. So I mean, first off, I would let's talk about your first series against Symbiote score. And obviously, second place team in this tournament. Going to that first round, kind of how were you guys or how were you guys feeling about that? Especially the fact as well you had Sim as a stand-in for someone. So obviously you weren't used to playing with him. So yeah, what were you guys thinking going into the playoff weekend there?
We were nervous in the first series, especially. We had Fligged in the first series still, so it's me and Fligged, but yeah, I was nervous. It wasn't our best game, but
Yeah, I want to ask you there, Nitro. So, like, you guys had a really long break, after winning that first series of the evening prior to, getting the big win here at the final. Is that kind of, do you feel as a player that long break was really good for you guys, or is it just a huge break in your forward momentum?
uh, so I think it was pretty mixed. Gave us a chance to reset. Play some warm-up games. We didn't actually get a scrim in, which we wanted to, but yeah, just a nice break to have, really.
Oh, stretch the legs and get a drink or something.
Yeah, get some food.
Yeah, so I would actually like to ask you now about SC9 because I think we can all agree they made a incredible, unexpected run to this. Came from the losers bracket round one. They were the last seed after all, making it all the way to the finals. It seems like they actually pushed you guys almost to the limit at times. So I mean, how did you guys manage to overcome it? I noticed you actually, tried a bit of a playstyle change. You had some going for a lot of more demos on your opposition, and that worked very well. So yeah, when it seemed like you guys were struggling, what do you do to get out of that and come out on top of it?
I mean, first of all, the reason we picked Sim up was to give us that alternative playstyle, because he has
Mm-hmm.
been like the most demo effective person in Division 4 this season. But it's just a mental reset, really. Like, we knew Netnia were an incredibly good team coming into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it worked phenomenally. And we saw this Sim getting all the decent
Yeah.
demos halfway through the series. He was just crashing into
He was
everyone. And
splitting.
then it was, either between you and Nate, you guys were able to score. And it actually worked out perfectly. And I mean, decent strat halfway through the series. And yeah, you guys definitely, I think, came to life from that moment.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so now let's actually look forward a little bit more. You've now, gained promotion into Division 3 for next season. So I'd ask, do you plan to stick with this same roster into this? And, by extension of that question, what are your expectations going into the next season? Because obviously the playing field is going to be stepped up significantly. I understand you may struggle at least your first season. So yeah, what are you guys thinking about that prospect?
We're planning on sticking together as a roster. Me, Fleet, and Nate have been playing for over a year now, so
Okay,
it's
fantastic.
been good times. And yeah, Div 3 is gonna be a challenge. But we're here to enjoy it, so looking forward to it.
All right,
No, man,
amazing.
no, I was gonna say
Yeah,
I
go
think you
on,
guys
Moss.
could probably do. No, you guys could probably do quite well in Nitro. Interesting question here, maybe for some fun Nitro. Chat wants to know, if you could choose a Hogwarts house, which one would it be?
Oh God. I think I'll go for Ravenclaw.
Oh, okay, brains
I do
behind the
like
player. We see it.
I do like Harry
Mm-hmm.
Potter.
There we go.
Oh,
Nice,
that's
good
fair
answer.
enough. There you go. Yeah, great answer to a fantastic question. So, yeah, I think now we'll let you on your way, Nitro. But for one more thing, we'll have from you. If you'd like to say anything to the stream and anyone out there, the stage is.
Look out for Incendia tomorrow in the playoffs again. We got Inferno taking on Div 3 in the playoffs, and next season we're here for more titles and hopefully success.
All right, very confident. I like it, Nitro. Thank you so much for coming on to Yeah, and congratulations
Appreciate it.
once more on your victory, mate. And yeah, best of luck going forward.
Thanks. Yeah, enjoyed it. So appreciate it.
All right, everyone. So that was